I'm going to go over how to use Quip and kind of like all the things that it can do and maybe best practices for using Quip. So, when you first open Quip, you should be taken directly to the update screen. This is a list of everything that's been happening across all the documents, all the folders, everything that we do on our Quip software. So first I'm going to start by going over what is on the left-hand side of the screen and kind of the tools you can use on this side. So the first one that we see is the search button, which you can search for documents, chats, people that are making documents, a certain file within a document, and this is just an easy way to get to where you're trying to go. So I'm going to use the state fair as an example. So we can type in state and we get the state fair chat, the tasks list, as well as the folder. And you can click on any of these and it will take you right to where you need to go. And we're going to just use the back arrow up in the top left corner just to go back to where we were. Next, we have the update section, which is what I said would be the first thing that you'll see when you open up Quip usually. This is again just areas of which updates are happening. It goes minute by minute, second by second. You can even click on the update and it'll take you right to what's happening in that document. Again, going up to the left-hand side of the screen to go backwards. Next, we're going to go to our folders icon right here on the left-hand side of the screen. This is going to show us the folders we have access to. You can click this twice if you're in the main folder area, our shared folders. If you click it twice, it takes you back to the main folders piece, which is your group folders as well as your private documents, where you can see if you want to set up private to-dos that nobody else can see. I have one for my practicum for my master's program that I use to keep track of what's going on there. Again, we're going to use the back arrow to go backwards. We have the trash to see items that we might have deleted as well. Next, we're going to go to notifications. This is the area in which, if you want to check it, this is stuff that you're getting tagged in. This is also stuff, again, it's kind of like the updates area, just things that are kind of happening. It notifies you of tasks lists that you're tagged in, overdue items of stuff you're being tagged in, just general things like that. Recent, again, this is minute by minute what is happening all over our boards as well. So this is another kind of update area piece. One of the most important sections moving down from the clock is the checkbox, which is our tasks list. Each of us has our own tasks list based off of stuff that we're getting tagged in through checklists across all the different documents. So this goes day by day of stuff that needs to be done. So you click on this again, opens up your task list. So we can see today, answer the questions in the status sheet, send the new business card template to AOR. These are things that I know I need to do today. On the 25th, I need to attach a photo to the Distinguished Professor Lecture Series, and you can keep scrolling down through day by day through the calendar. If you're tagged in something on a document that is not time sensitive or doesn't have a deadline, it's going to live at the very bottom of your task list in the other section. There's no date associated with these, it's just things that you're being tasked with across the board. Now, what's really nice about your task list, you see something that's due today, instead of having to go through all these different folders to find out where this task lives, if you just click right in the middle of that task, it's going to take you right to the document of where that task is. You can see it, you can see the other tasks that are associated with that as well. Shared with me, this is when we do, for example, the presentations and stuff like that. These are documents and files that are shared within Quip that are shared across our group. And I would say stay out of this section. There's really nothing in here that we can utilize the shared with me part for. Apps and templates. Again, this is the 4 boxes right here. This is going to show templates. We have a Dropbox for Quip, all the different things that Quip can do. There's all kinds of different templates that you can add to a document if you would like. which is really nice as well. I kind of stay away from this because we already kind of have a system that we're using for Quip. So I would say don't really worry too much about this section. Our chat, these are all the different chats that you have going with different people. This is where conversations will live for individual people as well as groups. And then you're frequently viewed. If you always want to see the stuff that you're going to most often, instead of having to go back through folders, this is down here at the bottom, frequently viewed. At the very, very bottom, and this is very important, this is your settings section. You'll see your little icon down here. This has you can edit your profile, notifications, customize your sidebar, and kind of just stuff like that. The only area, and this is really important, is your notifications piece. I know that I've discussed with you all a little bit about how to limit your notifications through email. So a really important thing that we need to all do is, again, go to your profile, go to notifications. Becky, this is for you too, because I know you've been getting all the emails. It'll open up the notifications prompt. Desktop, you want to have it on, notifying for all new activity as well as messages. So you'll always get pop-ups over here, even if you're outside of Quip, on what's going on if you're being tagged and stuff. The mobile, I have mobile turned on because I have the app on my phone. If you have the app on your phone or your iPad, I also have notify for activity about you as well as messages. So it'll send you notifications to tell you what's happening. Email, this is very important. You want to make sure that you have email notifications turned off. So you'll click right here. It will be like this for most of you. Email all notifications and comments. You do not want that to happen because your email box is going to fill up. And you're going to switch it to do not email notifications. Now, it is good to keep your daily digest on, because what this is going to do, it's going to send you a once-a-day rundown of updates and messages you may have missed to your email so that you can just see, oh, I forgot to do this. It sends you this every morning, which is really nice. And then your email addresses, you just want to have that checked because that's the email address it's sending it to. Alrighty. So again, these are your different icons. This bar on the side, it can be dragged if you go right here on this line so that you can actually see what all these notifications and icons mean. Once you get used to knowing what the icons mean, I just leave it collapsed just so you have more space to work with here. But for this example, we're going to expand it out so we can see what we need to look at. So we're going to go back to folders. So in our folders section, this is how you're going to get to all the projects we're managing. So our group folders, which is the red folder, we can see now we're in here. And we have all of our different folders across the board of all the different projects we're working on. So we're going to talk about colors. So we decided that red is top priority, yellow is a priority, but not as important as red, obviously. These are things that we still need to work on and focus on, but the red is utmost importance. And then green is, we have tons of time to think about this, not a high priority, but definitely check on it every once in a while. And then the blue folders are stuff that we really rarely need to worry about, but there's resources, templates for a project, and a work studies section for our work studies. And then at the very bottom of our shared folders, we have our marketing communications chat room. This is the chat room that will be used to communicate to every single member, all 11 members, in our Quip software. So if you want to send a message to everybody about an update or need information, you can type that here. So we're going to start with the non-project related tasks document, which is right here on the home screen. If you go into here, this is where every single task is going to live that does not have to do with a specific project. So for example, I'm going to use my creative projects as an example. So we have these separated by the different checklists. The general checklist that develop the staff training is in there. Press releases, web development for Anna, supplies and inventory for all of us, creative projects for me, communications for Haley, community relations for Tracy, and print for Becky. So if Tracy had something in here that was not tied to a specific project and it was just a task that she wanted to remind herself of, or something that she wanted to tag other people in that wasn't for a project, she would put that here. So in my projects, you'll see that I have a lot of stuff that has been checked off. The easiest way, this Quip software does not automatically delete tasks, so what you'll want to do is highlight the tasks that are done and then simply just hit delete, just to clear up some space on our boards all around. So I'm going to do that real quick. Great. And we'll also do it right here. This is kind of a good rule of thumb, I think, every week to kind of go through lists and stuff that you're managing and delete completed tasks. Next, we're going to go into a document, a folder. So we're going to use the State Fair folder as an example of a project and how they should be managed on this system. So we see within the State Fair folder, we have a State Fair chat room, which is going to be used, which Tracy's done a really great job, is going to be used to send files and gather information and communicate for that specific project. You can see Tracy's already utilized this. She made sure she tagged me within this chat room, as well as put her message. That way it notifies me that I'm needed to respond to this message. And then she sent me examples of stuff that we need to do, as well as specs, so you can send files through the system as well. So how you communicate is you're going to do @. I'm going to use Anna as an example. This is a test. Please ignore. Sends it to Anna. Anna's going to get notified about the test message. I can also send a file to Anna as well if I needed to send a file within this chat. Next, we're going to go back. Again, you use that back arrow up in the corner. You're going to go to our actual task document. Each document is separated into 4 different areas: web, press, creative, and a general section for tasks. So within web, we always want to make sure we use the medium heading, and the headings are right up here under the paragraph section. So we're going to want to use medium heading for the separating each of the sections. And then all you would do to add a checklist is you'll do enter, do shift @ and type in checklist. That way it adds the first item to do a checklist. Now, for example, we're going to actually make a to-do item for somebody. So I'm going to use Anna as an example again. So update the web page for the State Fair by tomorrow. What's really nice about this system is that when you type in the word tomorrow, it automatically knows that you're setting a deadline. So this little tomorrow button pops up. You can simply just click the button and it automatically makes sure that that task is set for tomorrow. So now it will show up in Anna's task list as she has to do that tomorrow. But we haven't tagged Anna or anybody in this task yet. So we need to make sure that we do @ Anna and hit mention. Now, Anna is tied to that specific task list, and she knows that she needs to do it tomorrow. You can also change this to a specific date. So you can say State Fair by date, @date, insert, and then you can go actually pick a certain date or deadline. We're going to delete this so Anna doesn't get confused. Then we see that you can do the same thing for press, same thing for creative, and same thing for general. And you all can, if Greg gets a creative task for me, Greg can go ahead and set the creative task list for me as well. The conversation on the side, never worry about this section. You can turn the conversation off by going up here and hitting hide conversation. We don't want to be using this to communicate for any project that's on the side. You don't really need to worry about anything up here ever. And yeah. So I think I covered pretty much everything. If you have any questions, send me a text or shoot me an email.